No. No! No! We just got this unit back after 2 years of non-payment of issues and dealing with, of course, the COVID and all the other issues. We finally got our unit back, and now I'm going to talk about tendencies gone bad. As always, guys, I'm the Flippin' Landlord Ninja, and we are Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
If you've been a part of our channel before, you know that we really stress that you need to screen your tenants. That's the most important thing you can do to protect yourself from bad tenants. Because once you get a bad tenant in, it costs so much to get them out. And with the profit margins of average rental units being very small, you could lose years and years of profit on a bad tenant. So it's really, really important to find a good process for your area. We love using 3 times the average rent. We also like to check in with their prior landlords. We like to check in some kind of references. Check also if they've been paying their other bills. Check if you can get access to the court docs, see if they have any evictions on the record. And these are all really important things to kind of put into your process and create a process and then treat everyone the same and use that process for every potential tenant that comes through your door. And this way it minimizes, you're not going to avoid them all, but you will minimize you getting a bad tenant. Now, once you get a bad tenant, you need to treat them like everyone else and have a process. Don't take every sob story they have. You need to have a process for everything and processing them, whether it be through the eviction process or whatever your state actually allows. You're going to want to walk them through and treat them the same way throughout the whole process. And it's really important to make sure you are crossing your T's, dotting your I's so that you can get the process moved as fast as possible. Anytime along the way, if they actually are able to figure out a process for them to get caught back up, that's great. But you still at least have the court process already filed and started. So this way you're not going to skip a beat. If they're actually able to actually come up with that money, you can just keep going on with that process. So it's a big thing that we talk about is making sure you treat them the same and then follow the process anyway so that you can get things moved along and protect yourself. Because that's the really thing is you need to protect your assets, and your assets are these properties as well as the rent coming in. And if you don't have the rent coming in, you're losing money on these properties, especially when you're buying like a 1 family or 2 or 3 family. If you lose that whole rent coming in that month, you're down 100%, 20, 50%, 30%. That's a huge nut that you're gonna crack, and often that might be all of your profits gone. So I really recommend that you take the time, create a process, write it out. All right, step by step of how you're going to screen your tenants. Maybe talk to a local landlord association and what their process is, because every state will be a little different that you might want to implement, and also different criteria for different types of buildings. Maybe your apartment buildings are different than your single families and your duplexes and stuff like that. But create a system, follow that system, and then implement. Now, once you get that person out, be steadfast, making sure you're actually working on getting that person out, because this is what you're going to see. I mean, often you're going to see stuff like this. So let me show you. So as you can see, this is how we got the tenancy back. I mean, look at this carpet. I mean, they were in here for 2 years. This is crazy. And we already trashed out some of it, but we still have so much more. Check out the basement here. I mean, the floor is destroyed. This is how they left our basement. This is also why we often restrict basement access. Look at this. This is crazy. All this junk. So now we have to pay to get this out. So besides the fact that we haven't gotten paid for a couple years, we also have to pay to get all this junk out for a dumpster and the labor to get this removed. And then of course we have to turn this apartment over back to the condition that it was in. And this is, you know, in pretty bad shape. I mean, I don't know what they did to the floor over here, but look at that. There's like, it's all soft. They destroyed the floor in front of the sink. We got some of this cleaned up. I mean, this is a big process now. I mean, look at what they did to the freaking tub. I don't think they ever cleaned it. So the big takeaway is to make sure you screen your tenants and create a process for screening those tenants so you can avoid bad tenants as much as possible. And we really like to do different things for income requirements as well as references and checking up on eviction statuses and other bills that they might or might not have paid. I think these are really good, criteria to look with. I recommend checking out local landlord meetups and talking to people there. But Once again, if you have a bad tenant, that can cost you years of profit. And this is obviously, you're in this to make some money and also protect your assets, because this property is obviously not been taken care of. And now we're going to spend a bunch of money to bring it back up to our standards so that we can re-rent it to someone who will actually appreciate it. So as always, guys, I'm the Flippin' Landlord Ninja. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any comments or questions, or you'd like any of the other videos that we could do, please leave a comment below. We appreciate it. And also check out some of the other videos we got that YouTube is suggesting you should watch. Thanks a lot.